It's a medical malpractice trial, and now the defense attorney calls his medical expert to come and testify at trial. I immediately jump up out of my seat, yell out, "Objection, Judge!" You want to learn why the judge prevented this medical expert from testifying? Come join me for a moment as I share with you some great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. So now this is a medical malpractice trial. We had finished putting on all of our testimony, all of our evidence, and all of our witnesses. And then we rested. What that meant was that now it was the defense's turn to go ahead and put on whatever witnesses and evidence and testimony they felt was necessary to support their defense. So now, as the first witness, the defense attorney calls this medical expert to testify. And the moment he yells out his name, I jump up out of my seat, I yell, "Objection, Judge! The defense has failed to notify us in a timely fashion of who they were bringing in to testify as an expert. I ask that the court preclude and prevent this witness from testifying." And now, the judge turns to the defense attorney and says, "What do you have to say, counselor?" And now he has to explain to the judge why he only notified me 2 days before this witness was coming in to testify. Now, you should know that in New York, we are not required to notify our opponents of the name of the expert that we are bringing in. However, we do have to notify our opponent of their medical credentials. Where did they go to medical school? Where did they do their residency training? Where did they do any fellowship training? Are they licensed to practice in New York? Where are they licensed? Are they board certified? So that information is critical. You want to know why? It's so that we can now go ahead and start an investigation to determine who this person is, to try and identify who the expert is. And why is that important? We want to identify who the expert is so we can start digging up dirt on this particular expert. Have they testified before? If so, let's get a copy of their transcript. Is there something in their background that we could use on cross-examination to show that they are less than credible? That's why it's critically important to get this information in sufficient time that allows us to do this background investigation so that we can now properly cross-examine this witness at the time of trial. If there's no time, if it's trial by ambush, where they tell us, hey, a day or two before, hey, here's who we're bringing in, or here's the witness we're bringing in, we are at a disadvantage because now I don't have the opportunity to do that thorough investigation. You should know that the judge has multiple options available to him when I make this type of objection. One thing he can do, and one thing that many judges will do, they'll say, you know what, counselor, you violated the rules. I'm going to allow your expert to testify, but I'm going to penalize you, counselor, because you failed to follow the rules. And now they could fine them and sanction them thousands of dollars that they have to pay out of their own pocket into the court system for violating the court's rules. On the other hand, a more drastic measure would be where the judge turns around and says, no, I am not allowing this witness to testify. You violated the rules. Call your next witness. That creates a huge gaping hole in the defense's case. Now, from a strategic standpoint, that may be great if the judge is trying to get both sides to come in and try and negotiate this case. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you just to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on in these medical malpractice cases here in New York. You know, I understand you're watching this video because you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit, but haven't done so yet because you still have questions that need answers, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.